Hi everyone, welcome to Long Run Wednesday. This week we're going to do the donation for the girl quilts like I did a couple weeks ago for the boys quilts for the OPP or fire department. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome back to Long Run Wednesday. This is Laura Lynn from the Mama Pop Quilt Shop. We're working on our girl donation quilts. I got this beautiful fabric donated from my family out in Calgary. So my nieces and my mom and my sister gave me all this pretty little stuff. I've never layered before. Why not? Let's give it a try. Who says you can't do it? And I got some really super cute alien material for underneath, or monster, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's really cute. So we're going to quilt this up. I got some shoe fetish pattern from my creative studios here. I'm just loving it. I'm going to hit the quilt button, and off it's going to go. I think. I hope. Or not. Did I hit it? Oh, I did. So it's going to start up there. It starts pretty much 1/4 the top of the pattern, and it's going to work its way. Should be about this big from my guess. I'm going to bring up my bobbin threads. So get rid of that here. Hit single stitch and okay. And I picked a rose-colored thread, top and bottom. I thought it would match quite nicely because there's lots of pinks and purplies on the monster faces here. It's going to stitch up. A little heel right now. Looks pretty. I've been looking forward to doing this one too. I was a little concerned with the mesh or this sheer material on top here, but it's looking okay. Looks good. It'll add for a unique texture. Very nice. All right. So as that stitches up, I'll probably just film it with the camera for a little bit and probably speed it up, and then we'll talk about it when it's all done. Once you're done. Maybe I should have picked a brighter thread. Okay, so back to train of thought here. Once this stitches up, I'm going to cut it into 4 like I did for the boy quilts and get the binding on them and get them all washed up. On weekend project, this weekend coming up, I'm going to make bags for them to slide into to stay dirt-free and, so they can be ready to use as soon as they come out of the, when they're needed. Come right out of the package and off they go. So I'm going to make some bags to go with them and put that it's Quilt for Kids. Hopefully people will get the word and donate time or materials or money, and because it's definitely needed. Every time I hear a fire truck go past, my heart sinks. That was a cute little bow it just stitched up. So I have this going, I think 5 across. It's going to stitch 5 of the block section that it is, the block pattern that it is. And it's going 5 down. So 5 across and 5 down. And I measured this, for this way it was going to be 73 inches worth of quilted fabric. And I believe it's pretty similar the other way. Actually, let's just check that. While Walt's doing all the work. Actually, this is going to be up to 81. So it's going to be 73 by 81. And that cut into 4s, that's going to make some good size little cuddle blankets for kids that could really use a cuddle at that point in time. get them all washed up first, and then we'll package them up, and then I'll get them delivered, and then I'll send a little update, or we'll do a little update on where they went and who got what sort of thing. We'll try to do this as many times as we can. It all depends on what I have for extra stock and, you know, donated stuff. It's always helpful. Next Long Arm Wednesday is going to be a Quilt of Valor. There's a local group here called Quilt of Valor of Dufferin County, and they do all sorts of beautiful, intricate, gorgeously looking quilts, quilt tops, for their veterans. You don't have to be wounded or anything. You just have to be a veteran. You can sign up via their website, or actually, sorry, they don't have a website, correction. But I can get you in contact with somebody, that's for sure. If you know of somebody who would like a veteran quilt. They're made very much with love, that's for sure. I've done one up already. It's in the background here on the chair. I just have to put the binding on. It came with a very gorgeous pillowcase, too. It's like, my goodness. These ladies put a lot of work into this, so I'm glad I can help do my part by quilting them together. So they're at the backs and donating the batting for that. It's good for the soul. Pretty shoes with pretty bows. I'm not a high heel person. I'm a Birkenstock kid. All the way. Be snapping the hip if I wore one of these things. It's almost done one full pattern rotation, like for the square. And it's going to finish this one little shoe off here. And it's going to skip and do it all over again. Should make sure for some very unique quilts. And it's almost ready. Start its second pattern. And off it goes, number 2. Perfect. Do you want me to take the camera? Okay. And of course, with the veteran quilts, I have to, make sure I'm not putting high heel shoes on them. That would be a little odd. There's so many patterns in the software itself, or I can even just freehand it myself, which I plan to do on a few of them, that's for sure. But there's so many pretty patterns in here. That one was called City Windows on that one. If there's any patterns you'd like to see stitched out, like feathers or hearts or whatever, I can certainly work it into whatever it is I'm going to be working on, whether a weekend project or a Long Arm Wednesday. Neat. I like how it feels. And it's not rough or anything. I mean, that little bit right there is a little bit roughy, but once we get some stitches on it and it all washed up, I think it'll feel nice. Very cute. It's a little mesmerizing, sorry. I get lost in the stitches. And if I found out that this didn't hold up to a wash or something and it was starting to pull apart in some spaces, I'll just a new set of girl quilts and just keep that as a lesson. Pick. So, but you gotta try new things. You don't know or learn until you try new things. The pieces. Like how there's like 3 different types of shoes on there. There's a high-heeled closed toe, a high-heel open toe, and then like a little sandal. I think there was actually flip-flops on here too. I'll have to, that'd be great for like a nice picnic or beach blanket. That'd be awesome. Or a beach bag. That'd be good too. Stitched up on a beach bag. A little folding here. There we go. Just a little puff of the batting underneath. I can feel it. There we go. All the more reason to make sure you're touching your quilts as it's stitching along or as you're stitching it along. Feel for any of those little lumpity things. There we go. All good. I would not have wanted to have a little lump in there. I haven't decided whether I was going to change threads like I did for the boys or just keep it this rosy colored thread. And I believe it's just Signature that I'm using. I will have an extra roll here. I did think of the variegated. I did think maybe the variegated might have looked nice on it, but I don't know. For the both sides, I thought that was the best to me. And then you'll really be able to see the shoes on the other side with the aliens. So it'll be like more monsters, shoe-wearing monsters. Like, don't monsters always wear shoes? Especially high heels with bows. So come on now. I know. Don't be silly. I will have to roll it each time it stitches, though, but I'm okay with that. To me, it just seemed to be the right size to cover the space that I was hoping for. More for the sheer, it had a little bit more stitches per inch coverage. I really have I like the sheerness when it's on top like this, but when it's stitched down, it just adds a whole other look to it. It's really cool. I think a prom dress like that would be really awesome, actually. Definitely some character. I did float the tops. The tops, I say plural because I count this as two tops, really, when you think about it. Just so it wasn't so much bulk trying to work its way through the rails. So I just left it just hanging on the top here. Float the top, float the batting. And the batting is 100% cotton. A lot of people were making comments, or not making comments, but I was reading some reviews of what the preference of batting are for some people. A lot of people like wool. Unfortunately, I can't deal with wool. It makes my hands very, very itchy and gives me little rashy bumps everywhere. But I wonder if they come out with a mix of wool cotton or something one day that I might be able to handle it. That seems to me ideal. Like, it's two organic fibers, so why not, right? But maybe they don't meld. I don't know. Very cute. I just love these shoes. Can't wear them, might as well look at them. Probably said thanks already to my family for the material, but thank you again. You said I could do what I want with it. This is what I'm doing. It's almost done the fourth one. It's going to move to the fifth, and then it'll be this row done. I'll have to unclamp it, roll it, and set it all back up again. getting there. Almost done. Whenever it slow down like that, it's doing a little bow. I think it's cute. Got 2 big shoes and 2 little shoes to do. And then it's done this row. Another size. Couple more. And what I'll do, I'll just let the machine keep stitching it out. It seems to be taking about a half an hour to 35 minutes to do one row, so that's a whole other 2 hour plus to watch this. So what we'll do is we'll film the film the last block off the last row here, and then I'll show you the taking it off, and I'll trim it up, and we'll get it all sorted. I like to get them bound and washed, and the bags made for the weekend, and get them out first thing next week. I was thinking about it. I'm like, they need a bag to go in. I don't want to stick them in a plastic grocery bag because that's not respectful to the quilt or to the person who's getting the quilt. So I'll make little bags for each one, embroider the quilts for kids on each bag, with a certain color so they know right at a quick glance whether it's for a boy or for a girl. So there's no issues. As much as a boy probably would be comforted by this, warmth-wise, not by, visual. That's for sure. I love this pinky little batak fabric that was in this. This was a curtain, actually. You probably thought that. I just, a panel curtain, there was 2 of them. I just turned them opposite to get some different dimensions with the lines for, as I put up the 4 quilts. Well, this is almost done. So just let this finish up, and then I will catch you guys after it's been rolled and almost finished stitching up, and we're on the last block. And thanks for watching so far. Gotta do the tassel of the sandal. And almost done. 3, 2, 1. Walt says the row is ready. Now we're just going to cut and move on. So catch you back in only a few seconds in your time, but a few hours in mine. See you soon. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's only been a few moments for you, probably less, but quite a few hours for us. It's on the last row. It's stitched up very nicely. I'll just come down close here. So it comes to the edge. Very nice, because you want to trim that off and put your binding on. Let's see where it is. There we go. Just doing the last one. Not the last shoe, but the last section. Now, remember these quilts? I'm going to cut this into 4 and make 4 girl quilts for the OPP and the fire department. My goal is probably to give 2 to each, 2 boys, 2 girls. So at least the ones in our area have blank quilts to cuddle with. Now we'll be making the bags on the weekend project for the Quilts for Kids. Almost done. Sorry, I have a tickle. I'm just going to cough for a moment here. There we go. Alright, caught my breath. Good to go. I think it looks really cute. Check out the fabric in the back. I mean, come on. Look at those happy little monsters. They're wearing shoes. Who wouldn't like to be happy little monsters wearing shoes? With bow ties. Very cool. Just cut it out a little bit so you can see Walt at work. I really like that black and white underneath the one, that sheer flowers on top. That's beautiful. So glad I thought of it. Very nice. You can probably just barely see the shoes. Looks great. Pause for a moment. Just give me a second. Alright, so it's only got another 2 more shoes to do and then it's all done. Thank everyone for joining me for this Long Arm Wednesday for Donation Girl Quilts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. So to finish this little stitch here, then we'll unclamp it and then I'll do a little roll and then we'll be done. Almost ready. This is my favorite part. It's almost ready. Do, 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 do. Last little sandal. Alright, seem to have tickled today. And that is that. Alright, let me just do a stitch and be right back. Okay, here we are, set up at the side of it. I've already taken the clamps off and did my last stitch, put my bobbin threads up to the top. Just going to release the last latch for the top here. There we go. There, isn't that cute? That's totally cute. I'm sure ones in their time of desperate comfort, sorry for the fat fingers there, would love to snuggle up to something like that. At least someone was thinking of them. Thanks very much for joining me. Stay tuned for next week's. We're having Quilts of Valor. I'm going to do a few of those. I'll have one very special one set up next week. It's got Canadian flags and everything all over it. It's very beautiful. And we'll talk a little bit about it and see if you're know of a veteran in our area or are willing to help with either time or piecing or whatever. Money's always good when it comes to that sort of thing. All right. Thanks very much for joining me. Stay tuned. Take care.